Welcome to the Weigh In Podcast, your prescription for a healthier life, where wellness is more than just a number on a scale. We'll dive deep into not just weight loss, but the medical, emotional, and lifestyle aspects of well-being.
In each episode, we'll weigh in on hot topics ranging from diet myths and exercise trends to mental health and chronic disease management, providing you with the evidence-based advice to guide your health decisions. Remember, it's not just about the weight on the scale, but about creating a healthier, more balanced you. Hey everyone, so I'm Zarina, nurse practitioner. I'm based out of LA, and I'm also doing this on Riverside. So if people are wondering if they're watching this on Riverside, like what's going on? I'm here with Katie. We need to do like certain amount of lives first before we can even co-host. So this is gonna look a little crazy.
We're TikTok noobs.
Yeah, so this looks a little crazy, but basically this is kind of an open forum. Like if you want to ask us any questions about hormone replacement therapy, menopause, perimenopause, PCOS, low testosterone, weight loss, anything, we'd be happy to just answer your questions. So, so I'm a nurse practitioner. Katie's also a nurse practitioner, and we both have our own clinics. She has 2 clinics. I have my 1 clinic. But she's doing so much over there. She's doing like metabolic health. She has this fancy PEMF mat. No, that's not the right one. It's the vibration one. The vibration one you do after.
I have all of the above. I love how of all the like little like fake tools and tricks and things that we have there, you're like obsessed with this PEMF mat. Or no, it's the vibrating machine that you're obsessed with.
Yes. So cool. And
I feel like you didn't have any interest in visiting me until I told you that I have this vibrating thing.
It looks so fun. And then she also has red light therapy and all that. Eventually I will get on that level. But for now, hormone replacement therapy has been our common interest. And we've been talking about it on our own separate pages because it does correlate with weight loss. We both started off doing weight loss, and we just realized there's more to the root cause than just, oh, you got to eat this and that. Like there's more than just nutrition. It's also, there's a mental aspect that can happen when you're older, when you're on menopause, and with all the hormones that we experience, even as just a woman, going through the menstrual cycle. We also have our shifts when it comes to the luteal phase, which I'm currently at right now. And so it just lasts 2 weeks. That it's like sometimes the worst 2 weeks of your life,
Why don't you explain what the luteal phase is for people that don't necessarily know?
Yeah. So luteal phase. Okay. So the menstrual cycle is something that I learned it in school, but I honestly didn't really understand it until I started doing hormones. So the luteal phase is the last 2 weeks of your cycle. The first 2 weeks of your cycle are actually when you start off your period. Your period is like the start of your menstrual cycle. So then you have your period, you go into your follicular phase. That's when you have your follicular stimulating hormone, goes up. It's preparing your ovaries, your eggs, right? Like, let's get ready to have a baby, right? And so that's like the first 2 weeks. And then afterwards you get ovulation. So like sometimes you might experience some pain. You might even feel stuff happening. And then you have some discharge that you can see as well. And then after that, you go into your luteal phase. So that's when your FSH level goes down a little bit. Luteinizing hormone does go up. And that's just increasing your progesterone. So that's when you start to feel tired more because progesterone is very relaxing. It's trying to prepare the uterus for either a period or pregnancy.
Hashtag all of my patients' favorite thing to be put on in terms of like hormone therapy. Hi, everybody that's in my live. So just so you know, right now I am co-hosting and recording our Weigh In NP episode. So I co-host the Weigh In NPs with my best friend, Zarina, who's also a nurse practitioner in Cali. We are both noobs to TikTok, so TikTok wouldn't let us do the little thing where it's like both of us on the thing. So you'll hear her in the background chiming in. But essentially what we wanted to let you guys know is that if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We are both nurse practitioners. I'm here on the East Coast in Pennsylvania. I also have a clinic in Delaware. I have clinics in each state. And then Zarina has a lovely clinic in LA. And our clinics kind of do very similar things. Hi, Sarah. Our clinics kind of do very similar things. Zarina, though, has a heavy focus on hormone replacement therapy. I'm also into hormones as well. I do a lot of metabolic health, so think like insulin resistance, visceral fat, those types of things. If you follow me on TikTok, you already know that. That's what I'm always kind of mouthing off about. If you have any questions, if you're going through something right now, like I said, we're happy to answer whatever questions you have. Serena was just chatting about the luteal phase and kind of like re-explaining what that was about. But
Yeah.
this is the session.
Yeah. So you want to know something fun that I did yesterday?
Yes,
I drew my own labs.
I'm only laughing because I've tried and it's super, super hard. Okay, so what did you draw?
Oh no, I literally didn't. I mean, I didn't draw it myself. My assistant did it for me, but
Oh, I've done that before. It hurts, but then you get past it.
oh god, that's amazing that you were able to do that. No, I couldn't draw my own labs, but I wanted to just find out, like, because I was my luteal phase, and that's usually the best time to find out where you are at as a female that's still menstruating. And so
Right?
I did my own labs, and I'm waiting for the results. So I don't know yet, but I have noticed because I've been off of birth control for about a year now, a year and a half,
Right.
and man, when I was on birth control, I didn't really notice all of these things that were happening, like especially like the luteal phase, does affect me more versus when I was on birth control. That's probably one thing that I do miss about that. It's that because it suppresses your cycle, so you don't really experience all the ups and downs of being a female. So
major perk of having an IUD in.
yeah, right. So you always have just a constant level of the same, but yeah, I just wanted to be off of birth control, and like it's been great. It's like I do like it. It's just I do experience more of that luteal phase, and especially I don't know, over the past few months I've just been having some insomnia like here and there. So I would have to really watch out on my caffeine intake, because if I have too much caffeine, even just like my regular caffeine intake that I'll have during my follicular phase, like I will be up all night. And it's so irritating because I will be so tired. Like my body is tired, but for whatever reason, like I just hang on to the caffeine more. So I'm just interested, like maybe I should put myself on progesterone and like see how that is during my luteal phase.
It is such a crowd favorite right now amongst my patients. I would say in terms of like people that get better rest, it definitely is a tie between magnesium glycinate, progesterone, and low dose naltrexone. None of which I should be on for that reason, but definitely LDM, which is what we call low dose naltrexone, is definitely a crowd favorite. I would say. And then the progesterone, everybody loves. Everyone seems so happy with it.
Yeah. I'm going to flip my camera. I wonder if that way I could capture both of us. Oops. Did I do it? There we go. Okay. I kind of got it going on.
What are you doing? You're doing something advanced that I wouldn't know how to do.
No, I'm flipping my camera because like to people on TikTok, they probably don't know what's going on. Like I just look like I'm talking to myself.
You look like you're talking to yourself. Yep, and I'm sure I do too.
Yeah, I think I need to change the speaker though, because I only hear it in my headphones. So I have to change the speaker settings somehow. Speaker, I'm just gonna do it on the MacBook Air. There we go.
I wish there was a way for me to know how to do what you're doing, but I feel like if I do that, I will end up not being in my live anymore. I feel like that's too advanced. I feel like I'm not ready to
This is my hack to like get both of us in
the people can see you so they don't think that you're talking to yourself, because I'm sure I look like I'm talking to myself. And once again, hi and welcome to everybody that's come in. If you have any questions for us, and the topics that we're kind of talking about right now range from perimenopause and hormones to weight loss therapies. Zarina and I are both nurse practitioners. We do a lot of that in our clinics. And metabolic health in general. So think things like insulin resistance, visceral fat, all those things. Certainly, if you have questions, I would love to answer them.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm just curious to see what my labs are going to be like. And I'm like, I do want to just try progesterone and see if that helps with the insomnia. And then I do get cravings too.
Micronized, or are you going to do a little like pregnenolone progesterone combo? What you going to do?
I think I'm going to start off with the micronized progesterone and see how that does for me. And then if it's not really doing too much, probably increase the dose, because you could take it at nighttime. The cool thing about progesterone, you take it at night. It has a really calming, relaxing effect.
Okay.
Yeah, but for some people, like sometimes it can go further on in the day, like the next day you might feel drowsy or groggy. So if that were to happen, you can also do a daytime progesterone too. And
Hmm.
that's really good too
A
if
lot
you want
of
to
my
implement
ladies
those.
that a lot of my ladies that are suffering from hot flashes at night really, really love the progesterone for that purpose.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when you're having menopause or perimenopause, like your estrogen and progesterone levels are just it's not even worth measuring sometimes because it's going to be high one day and then low the other day. It's just so back and forth. So you really have to just go by the symptoms and then look at the follicular stimulating hormone, look at your luteinizing hormone, and then obviously if you're still menstruating, it's not really until you have a full absence of menses that you're in menopause. So
exactly.
if you have like a period, oh, I had a few months ago, then you're still in that
Hmm.
perimenopause area until
Yep.
it's like a full 1 year of no periods. So
Yep.
yeah.
And for those of you that are joining my live and who are wondering who I'm talking to, this is Serena. Look, I figured out how to flip the camera. Hey, I think I did it.
Did you get it?
I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I thought I did it. Oh, okay. Sarah Sarah has a lot of questions.
Okay.
All right, Sarah. Sarah wants to know. Well, she started just off with, "Can I take a GLP-1 well?" And then she said, "Can taking progesterone cause cancer?" And she wants to know what is perimenopause and how does she know when it started?
Well, the first question about GLP-1 with what?
Sarah, can you clarify your question? Ravens 818. That's your GLP-1 question first. I would maybe put a pin in it and maybe jump to her. I know I know you're like dying to answer this does progesterone cause cancer question, Serena. So
Do you want me to answer that first?
why don't you answer that one first? And then hopefully she'll finish her GLP-1
Oh,
question.
okay. Okay. Yeah. Does progesterone cause cancer? So there is a great book out. If you haven't read it, I've like
Oh
recommended
my
it so
God.
many times. You probably know what I'm going to say, Katie. You know, you're like, oh, I haven't even finished it yet. I bet you haven't finished it.
Estrogen matters. She literally, any opportunity she gets to talk about it, like I could be like, oh, I want to eat oysters tonight. And Serena would be like, well,
Hey,
and
did you hear about this book called Estrogen Matters?
so Dorita loves the book Estrogen Matters. So carry on. I know this question, all roads are going to lead back to. Oh, sorry. Sarah's question was, can she take a GLP-1 while she's still nursing? The short answer is maybe, but I won't be the one to prescribe it. So yeah, there's not enough. There really isn't any good evidence to support that GLP-1s are safe while breastfeeding. I do know a lot of OBs that still prescribe it, and even some PCPs that are comfortable with it. Ultimately, this is more of a comfort level thing than anyway. I even know people personally that have breastfed while taking GLP-1s. But again, there isn't enough. I'm big on like evidence. There isn't enough evidence to support that GLP-1s are necessarily safe while breastfeeding. So
Right.
it's
No,
kind
I
of at the
agree too.
discretion of whoever your primary provider is. But if you were my patient, I probably would say just finish breastfeeding.
Yeah. 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 The second question, so going back to the progesterone, does it cause cancer? Um, so about the book, yeah, Estrogen Matters is great. If you want more info, the short answer is if you're taking synthetic medication, there is like associated risks with the synthetic. And usually what we're all about is the bioidentical micronized progesterone. So there's been research on that shows that there is no like additives to it. It doesn't cause cancer. So it's completely safe and it's really good, especially when you're in perimenopause. It helps with all those symptoms. Or if you have PCOS, it helps those symptoms. Or even if you don't have PCOS, it's just with like how I was talking about with the luteal phase, your progesterone levels usually are supposed to rise. But for some other people, it's just not high enough. And some people are estrogen dominant too. So then your estrogen levels are higher than your progesterone. And so that's when you get all those PMS symptoms. You get the irritability, you get the mood swings, you get the food cravings, you get fatigue, and your workouts, you'll notice you're just not really in the mood to do as much as you would during the first half of your cycle.
She has an add-on to this question that I think is a really good question, which is this the same progesterone that they give us during IVF or some pregnancies?
No. Progesterone is the ones that they give, the commercial ones are usually synthetic. So I've noticed too, they give you estrogen, right, during IVF, and then there's been risks of blood clots or risk of, just I've seen some people having to go to the ER because they had symptoms from the estrogen, but like the ones that we give is, again, the bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. If you want to be on the safe side, you can do topical estrogen. That's also fine too, because it's like, it's not generalized. It's topical. So it's wherever you place it, that's where you get the effect. And so
He was asking about progesterone though.
Progesterone, yeah. So going back to like the micronized progesterone, the bioidentical, there is no associated risk with that versus a synthetic. Provera is usually the one that you might hear of that Women's Health Initiative study had talked about. Yeah, that's the one that they used, and then they found that there was associated like adverse effects with breast cancer and then blood clots. I think more so the estrogen piece of it. But like I said, like if you want to read the book, Estrogen Matters is really good for that.
It's literally her favorite book. She brings it up all the time. It is pretty good. I actually am in the process of trying to finish it. It's not like it's not like a summer read. So yeah, it's not really like your typical beach read. So I have not gone through it super quickly. Hi and welcome to those of you that are coming in. Yes. This is Alive with me and my bestie, Serena, who is a nurse practitioner in Cali. We are both really, really new to TikTok. Yes. I'm especially new to TikTok by like weeks. And therefore TikTok won't let us do a little side-by-side thing where we're both talking to you at the same time. So Serena is on our Riverside recording, since we're podcast co-hosts, and you can kind of hear her talking as we're kind of going through some major topics. Our focus right now is really on like perimenopause questions, but certainly if you have questions about weight loss, if you have questions about hormone therapy, whether it's women's hormone therapy or men's hormone therapy, feel free to ask. As well as if you have metabolic health questions, if you've got like, cortisol, insulin resistance, those types of questions, which are my fave.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Elijah wants to know what is Serena's TikTok? The A-List Clinic.
I know it changed it back.
Oh, did you really? I can't keep up. Chaos, am I saying your name right? I hope I am. Wants to know, is swimming good exercise? I can't do much else. Yes, it is. It's great exercise. It's a great low impact workout. Is it that like super intense cardio that people get when they're going on intense jogs? No, but it's still a great way to get some type of workout. And remember, something is always better than nothing. So absolutely, doing some swimming is a great way to get a nice low impact workout in. If you're currently trying to lose weight, then certainly focus on your physical activity, but just remember, abs are made in the kitchen. A lot of that initial weight loss is going to come from what you're eating.
Yeah, and also if you have injuries too, like if you can't really do weight-bearing exercises, swimming is a really great alternative for cardio. So yeah, definitely go for that.
Like, always be careful and take care of yourself. I can't even tell you. I've lost 70 pounds. But Serena already knows the story. When I was trying to lose weight initially, I had just had like a baby and I was trying to be cute. And I joined this like stroller mom class, and all the moms were way more fit than me. I didn't know what I was doing. I joined this stroller mom class, but they were all really hardcore. They were doing like, I don't know, they were doing like burpees and stuff. I thought we were just walking. It was really intense, and my knees kept hurting and hurting and hurting and hurting. And then like a month later, I went to go get seen, and I had broken both of my knees. I had bilateral stress fractures. So all this to say, and it like ended up, like really like setting me back quite a bit. And I wish that I had just done something that that I was capable of doing and that was at the level that I was at. So please swim. Don't push yourself. It's not worth the injury, because then you'll really struggle with your health after that. That's a huge step back to have.
Yeah. Man, I lost you on my picture.
Anne has another question. She says, hi, ladies. Per my doctor, I'm in full menopause and have started estradiol patches, and I'm on a GLP-1. I had a partial hysterectomy 20 years ago. So my question is, what is postmenopause? So Zarina, I'll let you take that one because I feel like this is your jam.
What is postmenopause? Was that the question?
Yeah, I'll repeat it. So Carla Ann is per her doctor, she's in full menopause. She recently started the estradiol patches and she's on a GLP-1. She's had a partial hysterectomy 20 years ago. So her question is, what is postmenopause?
Postmenopause, it's usually when you've been like menopausal for a few years now, right? So then I think what's also beneficial for you, you can take progesterone and testosterone along with your estradiol. Um, I think it's also helps a lot with decreasing the visceral fat. Testosterone also helps with like improving your muscle mass too. So usually when you are in menopause, like you're at risk for that. You're risk for osteoporosis because your bones are more brittle because you're not producing the estrogen anymore. It's good that you are on estrogen right now, but if you optimize your testosterone and your progesterone too, it'll just help you like twofold with all of those issues.
And Carla Ann, just to give you, in case you were worried about the semantics of like menopause versus postmenopause. So menopause is those 12, like the 12 months after you have your period. Those 12 months, that's considered like menopause. After that, so after those 12 months, that's postmenopause, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just to clarify, I know there's like peri, there's menopause, there's postmenopause. So postmenopause is like that, is that aftermath. And Zarina is 1,000% right, especially about the estradiol patch. And a partial hysterectomy 20 years ago. I feel like I've got so many clients who are in a similar circumstance who have really benefited from hormone replacement therapy.
Yeah. Nick asked a question. What are the risks for taking hormones?
Ooh, that's a loaded question, Nick.
So the question is always like, oh, can it cause cancer? It can't. It doesn't cause cancer is a thing. It can grow cancer. Like if it's an estrogen driven cancer, it can grow it. Does it cause it? No. So that's a decision that you need to make with yourself and with your provider. Like if you do have history of that, or if you have family history and you're kind of scared, there really isn't any like I said, it doesn't cause cancer, but you have to determine the benefits and the risks of you getting on HRT. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of benefits with HRT. It prevents blood clots, prevents stroke, prevents your bones from getting more brittle. So like helps against osteoporosis, helps against diabetes. Those things can kill you too. And so I don't know. Like I said, it's just something that you need to discuss with your provider.
Kind of the benefit with your provider. I think, overall there's a lot of benefit. There is some level of risk. If you were to ask me, like, what are you monitoring when you have patients that are on this, beyond the fact that I'm monitoring their hormone levels, I will say that I do monitor like their hemoglobin and hematocrit. There is a concern that your blood can kind of get too thick when you're on these drugs and that it can push to an increased risk for things like clots. This risk is sometimes, I think Zarina would say, I would agree, sometimes kind of like overemphasized. But the solution is we simply monitor it. And if for some reason you had a really, really high hematocrit, that's when we do things like sometimes we tell you to go and donate blood to kind of thin some of that blood out. Elijah has a question. What was the turning point that motivated you to lose weight and what helped you stay consistent? So I decided that I wanted to lose weight after I had uterine prolapse. So literally I had so much belly fat that my uterus was starting to fall out. I used to be so embarrassed about this anymore, but something about being in like after you're like 35, you just don't care anymore. So yeah, so that's what happened. I started to have like uterine prolapse. So I had that level of abdominal fat. And I was like, something has to give. I am too young for this. Now my body parts are falling out and stuff. So that's why I started to get really, really aggressive about losing weight. I've got 2 boys who I love a lot, who I want to be around for a long time for. So I was just like, I have to go hard. It also just wasn't like comfortable for me. It was that I think most people can relate to, like, you've gained weight, you can't fit into the clothes that you have, but you don't want to buy new clothes because you want to lose weight. It's just like an uncomfortable feeling. So I think people are ready when they're ready. And when you are ready, I think people are usually ready to go hard, but you do have to be in the right mindset. Like sometimes I get clients who they're like, they're not in the right mindset yet. And I'll be like, let's just put a pin in this. Like, why don't you finish dealing with whatever you're dealing with right now? I will still be here, but you're not making good use of your money or time by coming to see me when you're not in the right mindset. So you have to be ready to lose the weight, which is a great point, Elijah.
Yeah, I agree. And that's like, we're pretty selective with who we choose, right? Because like you said, Katie, you really gotta put your all into this. This is a lifestyle change. It's not like, oh, we give you the treatment and it's gonna do all the work. Like it's only gonna work if you do work. So you gotta make sure that you're committed. And there's gonna be times where you're not gonna see the results that you want because hormones and weight loss take a while for it to happen, and it's a lifelong thing. It's a habit and lifestyle change. So and then things happen, right? Like it's not always going to be going like the weight is not always going to be going down all the time. There's other circumstances that happen. For example, like again, if you're in your luteal phase, like you do tend to hold on to more water, or
Yeah.
like say you're stressed out and you just have this job that's like making you work a lot, you're not sleeping well. There's so many factors into it, but it's ultimately for the long term, right? It's hard to like look at it when it's like so minuscule too, but
Yep.
that's why we want people to commit usually for at least a few months. I would say at least minimum 3 months, because like that's when it's a lot easier for change to happen. Like if people only go in the expectation like, okay, if I get on a GLP-1 and give it a month, like I'll see
That's
results that fast. No. You know what I mean?
not a good investment of your time or money to do that. If you're
No.
going on a GLP-1, you should expect to be on it for at least a few months. And as you know, everyone, there's always like hot topics with GLP-1s. I feel like one of them is definitely like muscle mass retention, and the other one, big one, is people regaining weight. A lot of that weight regain just comes from the fact that people were eating poorly before they went on the drug, and then they were eating poorly while they were on the drug. They were just eating less of the unhealthy food, and then they get off of the drug, and bada bing, bada boom. That's where you start to see some of that weight gain. So habits are key.
Nick asked a question specifically: if I start taking testosterone, will my body stop making any natural testosterone? So that's a great question. So there is what's called the hypo pituitary axis, and that's like the feedback mechanism, right? So if you're taking external testosterone, then your follicular stimulating hormone and your luteinizing hormone, they're not going to tell your body to keep producing your own testosterone because it's already seeing like, oh, there's testosterone here. Like, what do I need? I can just chill.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there is a temporary shutdown of what's called the Leydig cells to stimulate your testosterone to make more sperm. So yes, that does happen. And then another thing that people ask is like, oh, is it going to make me infertile? Like, no, when you stop testosterone, it's going to come back. Yeah.
A really good question.
Mm-hmm. And
Hi,
so,
guys. To those of you that are new, Serena's talking right now, but we are both nurse practitioners from the Weigh In podcast. Serena's in Cali. She's a nurse practitioner. I'm on the East Coast as a nurse practitioner. She is talking and chatting and helping me answer some questions on my side, and I'm doing the same on her side. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We're happy to answer them. Our areas of specialty are hormones and weight loss and metabolic health. Sorry, C, keep going.
yeah, testosterone is super beneficial for men and also for women because it's actually the most bioavailable hormone for women too. And people might not think that we need testosterone, just like men don't think they need estrogen. There are actually the benefits of testosterone come from the aromatization of estrogen for men. So I think it's it's totally important to optimize everything.
I agree.
Yeah, and we have, some other providers that will give you what's called an aromatase inhibitor just to help prevent that aromatization from testosterone to estrogen. But like, essentially, if you don't want,
Not the thing now anymore.
no, like if you don't want the cardioprotective benefits, if you don't want the Alzheimer's protection either, then sure, take it. I mean, do whatever you want, but it's really not. I think the fear is when they're afraid that oh, if I have too much estrogen, it's gonna cause like man boobs and it's gonna make me more emotional. And it's really not the case.
Yeah,
Have you
no.
seen anything with your clients? Have they ever asked you about that?
No, I only had one person who asked me about one male that asked me about getting an aromatase inhibitor. The rest of my guys either like aren't on Reddit as heavy, so they haven't like or like they haven't done as much like whatever with the paranoia or whatever. But they no, most of my men actually really don't ask me for an aromatase inhibitor, and most of my men, my guys are the happiest, I would say, in general. Um, they love the testosterone replacement therapy. They feel amazing. Their wives are happy because their sexual performance improves. They're more motivated. They're out there mowing the lawn and doing all the things. Um, I get like thank you letters from wives sometimes, like thank you, Katie. So, but that being said, I think that we always are emphasizing testosterone for men, but my ladies get a similar benefit in so many ways. Like they're so much happier once they're on testosterone therapy. Really, they are. And they have the same thing, like the increase in motivation, because I feel like that's one of the biggest symptoms that both men and women have when their hormones are off, is just total lack of motivation. If you just like don't feel like it. And it's so crazy how people go from like I don't feel like it at all to just feeling more like themselves when they're on testosterone therapy.
Yeah, definitely. I have some females that are on testosterone too that are menopausal, but you could even take it like peri, or even like um even as early as your 30s if you really wanted to. So I actually have a client that, yeah, she knows she doesn't want to have kids, so I'm like, cool, we can definitely get you on testosterone. So like it's not recommended to do it, I mean, throughout pregnancy if you wanted to get pregnant, but like I think it's like the third trimester where it's like teratogenic, but just be on the safe side where like, you know, don't start it if you are wanting to get pregnant. There are no associated risks with like taking it even if you do want kids, so don't be afraid of like, oh no, I can't do it. You can still have kids. Just make sure you stop it before, like if you're trying, like actively trying, yeah, then don't be on testosterone or any like type of HRT besides progesterone. Progesterone does help you get pregnant, and I did help clients do that. I actually had a client that had difficulty, so she had a kid when she was 30 or 31.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And then she had a hard time with her second kid. It took her like almost a year, but then she went to her OBGYN, and she was just like, well, you know, you're young, like we'll just give it 6 months, you know, and you know, we'll go from there. And 6 months came around, and I don't even think her OBGYN did anything for her. So that she came to me and was like, hey, I want to take glutathione. I heard glutathione can help with fertility.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, okay, well, if you're open to taking something, then I would just recommend progesterone. Like that's the actual hormone that we have in our body to help with fertility and also with preventing a miscarriage.
Oh, yeah.
She unfortunately had a miscarriage a few months prior. So then, you know, she moved to day shift. She was a night shift person. She wanted to like try days to see if that would help, because I've had some other coworkers that did the same thing. Once they moved to day shift, they were able to have kids because they were having a hard time when they were working on night shift.
Sure.
Which makes sense because like you're messing up your cortisol levels, and you're just not getting enough sleep, and you're probably just stressed out, and it's just a lot easier if you're working on a day schedule. So yeah, even after moving to day shift, she just couldn't, like it still wasn't happening. So then finally I was like, okay, let's try progesterone, you know. Within like I think a month or two, she got pregnant. Yeah. So
Your TikTok?
sorry, what'd you say?
That's the one you had in your TikTok?
Oh. Oh yeah, I just want to say hi to everybody that's joined. Thank you for joining. I'm here with Katie, my
Hi, everybody.
she's my co-host of the Weigh In podcast. So she's in the East Coast. She's currently in Pennsylvania, and I'm in California. So we were trying to find like a time that worked. So we figure like this is a great time right now. So it's 9 p.m. her time, 6:30 my time. So we're like doing this right now.
I didn't know if I was going to be able to hang when we agreed on this 9 p.m. time. Which is so sad. She said 9 p.m. and I hesitated, like, I don't even know. But I was like, I feel like we always do things that are more on my East Coast time frame. So I was like, let's do it. Let's do 9 p.m. But I'm glad that we were able to kind of like get together and do this.
Yeah, because we figure like the people that are awake are usually probably the ones that are experiencing perimenopause or menopause or
Yes.
are having like
For joining. If you
PCOS
have
syndrome, you
questions,
know?
if you have any questions related to weight loss or hormone therapy, feel free to ask them. We've been answering them over the course of the past several minutes. It's again, it's me and it's Serena, um, who is over in Cali, and he was so good with hormone therapy. Um, this has been really great. Do you have anybody asking a question right now? You're good.
No, not at the moment. I'm just saying hi to everybody. So it's good that you did the introduction. So thank you for joining. Again, if you have any questions about hormones, weight loss, metabolic health, please feel free, men or women. We see both, treat both. So we're comfortable with doing
Absolutely. Yep.
that. Yeah, because I
Yep.
know some providers that just refuse to see women. They just want to see men because they
Yeah,
just
there's a lot of
don't
men
understand.
only. But I also feel like that's fair, right? Because to be fair, there's a lot of like women's health providers and like women's only providers. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair, right? And a lot of them will do a splash, right? Like Game Day Health. Do they have those in Cali?
It sounds so familiar. I
Some
feel like they
men's
do.
only HRT chain. They do men, but then like when you go on their website, they do a splash of females.
Oh, got it. Got it. Yeah, because their whole theme is like, yeah, game day. It's like so dude, like bro.
It's like you go in and it looks like you're in like it looks like you're in some type of like man cave, like a really nice man cave.
Yeah. All right. So Nick asked, is this a normal Saturday night for you? Chat. God. No, actually. I'm in my office. I'm normally not here on the weekends, so
Mm.
not usual for me. How about you, Katie?
Chilling on a weekend. I mean, I don't usually do lives on weekends. I'm not usually talking about hormones on weekends, but um, I'm not necessarily like out hitting the club on a Saturday night, every Saturday night, Nick. So it really just depends. I do go to my office. I'm not at my office right now, but I do go to my office on the weekends only because I have the Phoenix Lounge, not to brag. But I have a self-guided spa lounge in my office, like in my like our office that patients see. There's like red light, the PEMF mat, the zero gravity massage chair. So I like go to my office to work or to catch up on work over the weekend. Hashtag get a break from my husband and kids and get some R&R in.
Nikki had asked as well, have any celebrities talked about doing HRT?
Ooh, I know Halle Berry's been talking about it, and
Mm-hmm.
oh my gosh, who's the one?
Drew
The one with the red
Barrymore?
hair. Yes, yes. Her hair is no longer red, is it?
I haven't kept up with her. So like I know you've talked about her briefly. Is she on it or talking about trying it?
I think she's just been mostly talking about like how she has struggled with her symptoms of perimenopause. Like I think she was saying that she had like heavy periods and she had frequent cycles.
Oh.
Um, oh, Carla Ann has another question. She was curious about, will the estradiol patch help me with weight loss? She has stalled on the GLP-1.
Mm.
So, in my opinion, out of if we were, and I should preface all this by saying that these are all general statements. None of this is medical advice. But if we were speaking in general terms about somebody in your situation who was struggling with metabolism and wanted to use hormone therapy to help with their metabolism, out of all the sort of hormones that get replaced, it'd probably be testosterone that would be most likely to help you get a metabolism boost. But if you're on a GLP-1, there's plenty of things that can be done to start getting the weight loss moving if you've plateaued. Hopefully you're seeing some type of weight loss provider who can help you. But there's tons like the plateau is part of what we, and Serena knows I love plateaus. They're my favorite thing to see people overcome. So, but there's so many different things that you can do even outside of hormone therapy to help push past that plateau. The plateau is a natural thing that our body sometimes does. So short answer is I don't think that an estradiol patch alone is going to be the thing to help you with weight loss. It could, but I think that having overall hormone balance could potentially help your weight loss journey. Other thing is that estradiol can sometimes cause some water weight gain. And if you've recently been put on it, some of the numbers that you're seeing on the scale might not necessarily be true.
Yeah.
So hang in there. I know it's frustrating. It's so hard when the numbers aren't going down the way that you want, but hang in there. I will tell you that the patients that I have that are doing any type of hormone replacement therapy in general, I tell them not to even like play around with the scale the first 6 to 8 weeks, because it's not going to look like the real thing, because their body is kind of rebalancing out while being put on the hormones.
Exactly. And just to add to that, like you want to optimize all your hormones when you're doing GLP,
Mhm.
or not GLP-1s, I'm sorry, when you're doing estradiol. You could look at your thyroid too. You might be having some functional hypothyroidism. That's also part of your
Yep.
metabolism. So if your numbers aren't really optimal, then it'll help boost that weight loss, because it'll also help with that visceral fat, and then that'll help increase your muscle mass, and then it'll also help with the weight loss too. So that's something to look at. And then also, yeah, take a look to see, I don't know if you're where you're at right now, if you're menopausal or postmenopausal or peri, but
She's
you,
our who had the hysterectomy.
oh, okay, got it. So yeah, you can,
Menopause. Yeah.
got it. So you can also benefit, like there's also this thing, this, like we were taught in school, like, oh, we don't need to give progesterone if you don't have you know a uterus, but you totally can. You still have some progesterone receptors like in your colon as well. So it would help out to be on progesterone, and then testosterone also, like Katie was saying, will also help with increasing muscle mass too.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing too that we both have in our clinics, we have an in-body scale. So it also emphasizes like, okay, even though you might not see the numbers going down, if you see that your muscle mass is improving, if you see that your body fat's going down, then that's really good. And then other signs, like if your clothes are feeling looser, then that means that inches are falling off of your waist too.
Yep.
So body measurements are also very important when you're doing weight loss.
Yep.
Um,
Insulin resistance also has a big impact on your weight loss, even when you're on a GLP-1. So definitely touch base with your provider, because sometimes even a temporary increase in your GLP-1 dose can help, because that's part of what GLP-1s do, is they help kind of stabilize those glucose levels. So sometimes having a brief boost or adding in supplements like berberine can be the thing to kind of like help you push past that plateau. And then the other thing that beyond like hormone therapy and medications and supplements is thinking about things like peptides sometimes, or things that kind of help people push past plateaus. So I would say definitely look into all of those things, but the estradiol patch probably will not help you with the weight loss alone, unfortunately.
yeah. Vibrant Val had just asked, if we are in peri, can we just be in progesterone? Still having periods and 53 years old. Yes, you can just be in progesterone. Like Katie and I had talked about, when you're in menopause, you're going to want to have a full year of not having a period, and then you can start estrogen. And then you could also add on testosterone for now too. Progesterone, testosterone are like
Mm-hmm.
my go-tos when you're in perimenopause.
Yep.
You can also take a look at your thyroid, because sometimes your thyroid might be off.
Yep.
And taking some desiccated thyroid will help just make you feel better too, especially if you're having fatigue, brain fog, some weight gain that you just can't get rid of. Your thyroid is related to your metabolism as well. So make sure all those are optimized, and you'll be good to go.
Yep. The word optimize is such a good word. You're very welcome, Carla Ann. The word optimize is such an important word, because some of our colleagues, and by the way, we're not like dogging anybody, but a lot of our colleagues, whether it's a PA, NP, physician, they are patients, or not patients, but anybody will go to them and say, like, these are my labs, and they might be told like their labs are normal. Right. But normal doesn't mean that your labs are optimal. And there is a huge difference. And part of what people who specialize in this really do is they make sure that your hormones are optimized, which is what you want, right? Like, I don't want to just be like feeling okay. Like, who wants to live like that? Like, just feeling okay. And you don't realize how bad you're actually feeling until you finally feel like amazing again. And you're like, I can't believe I was living that way. Like, life is too short. So I definitely recommend making sure that you're getting optimized, and that you have a provider who is really looking at your labs carefully and is comfortable managing your hormones.
Yeah, and I've been saying, it's normal. It's mediocre. Like that's the word we need to be using.
Mhm.
Like you're getting mediocre treatment, you're getting mediocre care. These labs are normal for someone that's tired, that's like working 40, 60 hours, 80 hours a week that isn't sleeping well, probably sleeping like 4 to 5 hours a night. Like it's normal for that person, but you don't want to be that person, right? You want to
But
be
you don't want to
someone,
like just feel okay.
right? Yeah, you want to feel like better. It's not, and that's another perception too. I don't want to say that hormones is going to make you feel like Superman or anything, right? But you want to at least finally have that energy to go out and like not feel like a couch potato. Cause I know we have those days here and there. That's totally okay. But if you find yourself like not wanting to get off the couch and not socializing the way you used to, then there's something else going on there and it should be looked at and examined. So yeah, normal is mediocre. You need to be
And like,
optimal.
just because you're getting older doesn't mean that you're supposed to feel crappy or tired. I have patients that are like in their 60s and upwards that look and feel amazing. In fact, one of my guys just finished running like a marathon, which I don't think I can run a marathon right now.
Yeah.
He's somebody who was feeling sort of all of those symptoms, and not only has he lost a ton of weight on hormone therapy, but he literally feels and looks like a whole new person. And his level of energy, his level of motivation is really great. Carla Ann says she thinks her care is mediocre. Do either of you take insurance from Georgia for virtual visits? I don't. I'm only licensed in Pennsylvania and Delaware. Serena is in your Cali and Arizona, right?
I think Nevada, yeah, Oregon too, but we can refer you to Patrick. He's licensed in 35 states.
Yeah.
He probably is licensed in
Yep, yep.
Atlanta or
So
Georgia, sorry, in Georgia.
yeah, so Patrick Starcuzzi is awesome. He was just recently on our podcast, but he has a clinic. Is it called Starcuzzi Wellness, or did they already brand to Improve You Today?
I think they're in the process. So right now it's called Stracuzzi Wellness. They're trying to move it to Improve You Today, but both websites, I think Stracuzzi Wellness and Improve You Today, both linked to the
Yeah,
same thing.
he is licensed in multiple states, but he's really wonderful. He's somebody who we both like admire and look up to. He's licensed in pretty almost every state. So if you send me a DM, Carla, I will give you his information. I don't know that he takes insurance because so much of hormone therapy isn't covered by insurance. But I have heard from other people that his prices are extremely reasonable. So I'll give you his information, and you just don't know unless you ask. So it definitely is worth it to do a consultation. Most providers don't charge for like quick mini consultations, hear what his prices are, and see. But he's really awesome.
Yeah,
Which
if you want to watch that episode,
like 4 people I would ever recommend.
right?
Yes, the
Oh my
episode
God.
with him.
We like idolized him. He's amazing. But
I was like nervous before we did our podcast recording.
yeah, if you haven't watched that episode, like please watch it. It was like 2 episodes ago. I think
Episode before last. Yeah, that was
episode 3.
Patrick Starcuzzi. Yeah, but he's his clinic has grown for a reason. He's very, very intelligent. And when Zarina and I first opened our clinics years ago, we went to a conference in Vegas. Is where we first met him, and he was giving a lecture. And because the conference was in Vegas, Zarina and I were not paying attention to a large amount of lectures, but that was one of the that was one of the few that we really were like listening to with rapt attention because he was so good. So definitely recommend Pat for sure.
Yeah, the ones where we were in by the poolside eating nachos. We were like,
oh, I totally blame you. I was ready to learn. I was ready to learn. It's not all your fault though, because I was definitely a willing participant.
So Nick asked, do any foods affect hormones? That's a great question. I mean, so for females, I mean, there's a book that I love called Fast Like a Girl. If you're not into fasting, like it's still a wonderful book because it opened my eyes to like the menstrual cycle and how we should eat during that time. And there's actually a really great podcast with a dietitian that we did last season with Casey Thomas. Oh yeah, he did a wonderful little tidbit about how women should like cycle sync and eat with their cycle. So he was saying like normally the week before your period, you do crave a lot of sugar, and that you should prioritize protein during that time because your body absorbs it a lot better. And it also helps with the cravings too. But he said even if you do have something that if you want something sweet, like he said, dark chocolate's really good for that. And yeah, it's just such a gem of an episode. And like the book I mentioned, Fast Like a Girl by Mindy Pelz, she also recommends like you shouldn't be fasting all the time as a woman who's menstruating, because like especially during that period, when you have your period, you should just eat normally, because your body needs all those nutrients. Like it's burning off
Mm,
so much energy during your period. So like fasting during that time isn't really beneficial. But I mean, obviously, if you're in your follicular phase, like your energy levels, your estrogen's high, that's a good time to do fasting. So it's a great resource. And she has a lot of like recipes too of like certain
mm-hmm.
foods to eat when you're on your period, and depending on your phases, where you're at follicular versus luteal. So I would pick it up. Fast Like a Girl by Mindy Pelz. And she also has a YouTube channel too that's super helpful.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking about hormones that aren't sort of our classic like HRT hormones, like if we're not thinking about estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, you already know what I'm going to say about protein, which is that it helps regulate cortisol and insulin. Um, and those are key for stabilizing all of your hormones, but particularly it helps with stabilizing your blood sugar, which is a lot of what we want to do. So definitely protein. I know the internet's always talking about protein. It almost feels like a played out trend, but it is that way. It's that way for a reason. Protein for so many reasons, and protein in the mornings, ideally. Um,
Yeah, like I've been touting just doing black coffee and like a Fairlife protein shake. I think Andrew, another guest on our pod, who is a psychiatric nurse practitioner and a family nurse practitioner, he's like
mhm,
killing it in Florida.
mhm.
His practice is called Caliper Wellness. He was talking about that too when he was doing his weight loss journey. And still to this day, he's like, I just put a protein shake in my coffee rather than putting creamer or milk. And that's just the easy way to get your protein. And so I've been doing that too. And it's been really helpful, especially some days like in the mornings, you're just busy and you don't have time to eat. You just drink the protein shake with the coffee and you get your 30 grams right there. So,
Yep.
yeah. But I don't agree with like cutting out food groups entirely. Carbs are just as important too. I just think it's a type of carbs that you're getting. You know, you want to be mindful of making sure that you're getting like the complex carbs. You're not just getting the carbs from chips, or, you know, you just got to be mindful about it. I don't believe in cutting out any food group.
Yep.
It's just so much harder to like when you do bring it back in your life and you're like, oh my God, it's been restricted for me for so long. Like I need to like eat all the things. And unfortunately, it goes back into that yo-yo dieting that we
Yep.
just have seen time and time again. So
Absolutely. Very much so. And yeah, protein in the coffee was definitely one of my like go-tos when I was like an ER nurse during COVID. It made life so much easier. If you're struggling with, if you're concerned about like your cortisol, for example, interfering with your weight loss, or if you're having a lot of hormone imbalance issues, I still recommend trying to have protein before the caffeine, just because caffeine can spike your cortisol. So having protein in the mornings and then even waiting like 30, 60, 90 minutes and then having your caffeine can really benefit you from like a metabolic standpoint. But like I said, this is real life, and most people, it doesn't really work that way, right? Like you wake up and you're eating breakfast. You don't eat some of breakfast and then and then wait 90 minutes. So
right. If you have
welcome.
completely nothing to do, then sure. But
Yeah, yeah, like in an unrealistic world, that's a realistic thing, but it's not reality.
yeah. I'm gonna post this video. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but like my
Zarina cut out, so I don't know what she was saying, but for those of you just joining us, I'm Katie. I'm a nurse practitioner. I co-host the Weigh In podcast with Serena, who is also a nurse practitioner. We've been recording one of our live podcast sessions and answering some questions on both ends. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us. We're happy to answer them. Serena was in the process of answering a question, and then she got kind of muted. I don't know what happened here. She just made like a sad face on the video because she doesn't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening either, my friend. I don't know why I can't hear you. Mm-mm. So she jumped out and then she'll jump back in. But again, if you have any questions, let us know. While we're waiting, so Zarina and I, see, I still can't hear you, friend. I can't hear you at all. I don't know what happened.
Hello. Oh,
Oh, here, you're
must have pressed the
back.
button. I
Hey,
pressed
you're
the.
back.
Did I miss anything? Sorry.
No, I was about to start, since you weren't there, I was about to launch into the how we met story. But also, if you are watching this, or watching this on either end, on my end or Zarina's end, we would love it if you followed us, and we'd love it if you liked this live. Zarina's tag is it the A-List Clinic now, or is it something else?
My tag right now is A-List Clinic.
A-List Clinic. So Zarina is the A-List Clinic, and I am at KDT Mays. Very boring. I wasn't feeling very creative that day.
Oh no, it's all
But
good.
Serena, you can finish. You were in the middle of saying something juicy, and then
Oh,
like
I
I
was
was in.
talking about how I was in Vegas last weekend, and I wanted to. I mean, I wasn't tracking necessarily what I was eating. I am like tracking calories in general, but like when I go out on vacation, I don't really want to do that. But I still want to be mindful of what I'm eating. So
Mhm.
we were just hanging by the pool, and we were gonna go to the buffet later. We were gonna go to the Wynn buffet, and
Ooh,
so yeah, so then, I was getting kinda hungry because it was already maybe 11 AM at this point.
okay.
So, I went to, like to get a snack, and then I saw what they had. They actually had quite a few options, but of course, there's gonna be chips, chocolate, candy,
Mhm.
beer,
I remember that
alcohol.
like years ago, and it
Mhm.
was bomb then. I bet it's still bomb now.
Oh my god, so good. We have to go back. But, I had iced coffee, and I should have asked for iced latte because it just tasted like gross. So again, going back to my protein coffee, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna get a protein shake and add it in there. So I did. I ended up getting just a Fairlife strawberry protein, I think. Or no, I think I got a chocolate. I forget. I'm sorry. I got a chocolate one. I got a chocolate one, added it to my coffee, and it made up for it. And then I also just got some beef jerky just because it had more protein in there. And then I asked my friend, like, what do you want? And then she said, oh, I just want to get some
So
Doritos.
the Wynn buffet had beef jerky. Wise way. Are
No,
you
no,
serious?
no, no. I'm talking about prior, before we
Uh,
ate.
I was so confused. I was
So I'll set the scene. We're
doing some new shit now. Like they have a snack section.
No, no. I'll set the scene. So we were hanging out by the pool,
Okay.
and our buffet wasn't until we weren't going to get there till 1, but
There.
it was already like 10, 11 a.m. So I just wanted something small to eat,
Okay.
but
That,
you know,
now I'm picking up what you're putting down. You briefly
yes.
lost me. I was so confused. I was like,
Sorry, yeah, sorry. So then I just went to the
I
snack bar.
was like, maybe the caliber has really gone down since I was there like a decade plus ago.
No, no, no. I'll get to the actual buffet, but then like yeah, I just wanted something to snack on. So then I got beef jerky and then added like some protein shake to my terrible ass coffee that I ordered. So so at the actual buffet, um I stuck to proteins mainly. So I got like some prime rib, I got some wagyu beef, which was okay. I think it's because it's just been like sitting on the table for quite some time, so it's not super warm. So it was just
Yeah.
yeah. But the sushi was very good. And then I got like yeah, some sushi rolls. I also got some truffle mac and cheese. And I love their portion sizes because it's small. It's really good. So sorry, I don't know what's going on here. So yeah, the Win buffet was very, very good. I think that's mostly what I ate that day. Oh, and then later on, like so after the concert, I saw Backstreet Boys, right? And then
Man, I have so many questions because you posted so many things in your story, but we'll stick to HRT for now. But carry on.
yeah, sorry. I think my live is like turning off. I need to like figure out what's going on. Detective
No, no, you're fine.
inactivity. Unstable connection. I don't know what's going on.
Usually it's my Wi-Fi that isn't working well.
Yeah. It said, I guess because it doesn't see me. I think that's because I'm like doing it on the flip camera. Okay, let me see what's going on.
Maybe you have it front face.
I had it facing towards us, so it's show both of us, but like it's starting to freak out right now, and it's like gonna end. I don't know why. I'm gonna just leave it and go back in. Okay, let me see.
So while you're doing that, so I'm about to test my hormones. I know you were saying that you just tested yours. But as we know, saliva is incredibly accurate, which totally goes against like what we usually think of. We usually think that we should like draw blood. Blood specimens are obviously helpful for a lot of the general panels that we need, but for hormone levels, a lot of times saliva is actually the more stable. So anyway, I'm doing a saliva test to kind of get some general basic metabolic health and hormone levels. I'll let you know how it goes.
How much saliva do you need to do? Is it like a DNA test?
I don't know. I'm waiting for the thing to come in the mail because I don't know. Am I hawking loogies? Am I like doing a little bit of spit? I've heard it's like a decent amount, and I know definitely one of the panels that I'm doing is the cortisol. So the cortisol testing involves spitting 4 times a day because you get a really good picture for cortisol. So I'll definitely be spitting a lot. And with my new with the test samples that we offer, which by the way, link in bio, you can purchase. There is a lab shop in my bio that shows sort of like blood tests as well as saliva tests that you can do at home. So there is the blood test option, but again, especially for things like cortisol, saliva actually can be the more accurate. So I'll just be hawking loogies for for a little bit.
Very cool. Sorry, I was like trying to get back on my live, and it's telling me I'm on another device. I'm alive, and I'm not. And it's like,
Well, mine is about to end, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye, guys. This has been super fun. Thank you for joining me on my live. It was my first time doing one, so thank you. I was super scared to do it. I told my husband, like, I don't want to do it. It's been a pleasure, and I think I'll probably do one of these next week. All right.
Yeah, I'm actually doing one, my hormone webinar, but I think by the time I post it, well, it depends on when we post this, but like, it's happening August 6th on Wednesday, 12 p.m. PST, if you guys are interested. So
you said Wednesday at 12 p.m.?
Yeah, well, which will be 3 p.m. your time. But I'm going to also do it live on TikTok as well. So it'll be on, I think, Google Meet and then TikTok Live.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good night. It's been a pleasure.
Good night. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast, give us a rating, and share with your family and friends who might find it helpful.
And remember, we love hearing from our listeners. Connect with us on our social media channels or shoot us an email with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future topics. Don't forget to check out our website, www.thewayinNPs.com, and to follow us on Instagram at thewayinNPs.
If you need one-on-one help with your weight loss or wellness journey, book a private consultation with us. The A-List Clinic can be reached at www.thealistclinic.com or on Instagram and TikTok at The A-List Clinic.
And my clinic, Lifefire Weight and Wellness, can be reached at www.lifefireweight.com or on Instagram and TikTok at LifefireWeight.
Thanks again for tuning into the Wayne Podcast with your hosts, Katie and Zarina. Until next time, take care and be well.
The information in this podcast is for general information only. It is not intended as medical advice and should not be relied upon as a substitute for medical consultation with a qualified medical provider familiar with your medical needs.